Of the entire winter 2022 anime season, the one that has the biggest names behind it that probably would create a little bit of excitement is definitely Tokyo 24th Ward, or Tokyo 24-ku. This is an original anime series that is being produced by Cloverworks, but interestingly enough, the director behind it is known for doing many of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series as well as Planetarian, and at the same time, the creator and writer credited for the series is somebody that worked alongside Naotaka Hayashi with Steins Gate, the original visual novel. But this is my thoughts on the first and second episode, the first episode being a full hour-long episode of the series, so let's jump right into it. Tokyo 24th Ward opens up talking about the 24th Ward of Tokyo, this man-made island that's off of Japan. And while this area used to be controlled by allies for quite a while, at some point, they transitioned to Japan owning the island once again. And we follow mostly three individuals who are a part of this group that they call the RGB. A group of friends who are almost like, I don't know, trying to be heroes at some point. But unfortunately, a year before the series starts, there was a big tragedy that happened. The school they were trying to protect ends up going up in a blaze, and one of their members of this team unfortunately has passed away. And it seems like following this whole tragic event, everybody kind of goes their separate ways, only coming together for this anniversary of this unfortunate event where this memorial happens and they all come together and kind of meet each other once again. And the weird thing that comes of this memorial meeting is that at some point as they're together, they all get a phone call. These three guys get a phone call, and it's from the girl that unfortunately had passed away in that fire. And as they each bring the phone up to their ear, something weird happens. It almost feels as if something kind of connects to their brain. And they're all given a message from, again, the voice of this person that passed away, saying that there's something tragic going to happen and that they have to choose their future. This tragic happening is this girl, Mari, one of their childhood friends, is on this train track, and this train is veering towards her. And they can choose to either allow her to die and thus save the lives of the many people on board the train, or they can re-divert the train itself, saving her, but derailing the train and killing everybody on board. Well, the three of them all kind of keep it a secret. Like, they heard this conversation, that this person that is obviously dead, they're all keeping it a secret, but then they all each individually decide, you know what, this is actually true. This is going to happen. This Mari girl is actually here. And so they spring into action, working together in order to save her life and the people on the train. And it seems like something happened as well when that connection happened with that phone call. Each one of them seemed to have gotten some sort of ability out of the entire situation. Shuta gets like superhuman strength. He's able to run a lot faster, jump across buildings, which he was able to do before, but he's able to do it better now, I guess. Ron, who is like this graffiti guy and way into tech, he just has like an increased amount of knowledge of hacking and stuff. Everything seems to kind of flow better with him. And then Kyoki, he's kind of more the brains of the group. He's able to manipulate people better. His words that come to him are better, so he's able to actually converse with people better. Additionally, in the background, you get a sense that there's this technology that this area employs. They call it the Hazard Cast. It's basically this computer system that, similar to other stories, is a system that's able to predict when bad things happen. They kind of give an example at some point. You have Koki, and he is looking at this hazard cast, and it's telling like this 70+% chance that something bad is going to happen at this one intersection. And sure enough, it seems like the rescue forces and everybody are already there just in case it happens. And sure enough, an accident happens, and they rush in to help people. So again, it's kind of like this predictive software that's able to kind of see crimes and accidents before they happen. And they kind of talk a little bit about the idea of even though they can see that something can happen, they still don't arrest people or do anything. They have to allow it to happen. That way, they're not arresting people for crimes they have not committed yet. And there's a little bit of assumption in the background that this kind of call came from, again, this girl that passed away that might somehow be connected, again, to this hazard cast. My assumption at this point, really quickly, was this idea of this girl from the past being kind of uploaded into this machine, this AI system that now essentially predicts things. And so now you're going to have this little band of kids who used to be, childhood superheroes, now in the future, more grown up, now actually stopping crime before it happens using this system. So yeah, my thoughts on this series so far. I thought the first episode was fantastic. A really solid first episode. Again, an hour-long episode, like 48 minutes or so, that really did open it up. And the idea, again, being that you have this concept of these people that wanted to be heroes at some point. You obviously have this software that can tell you where you need to be in order to help somebody. and then basically the two of them coming together. Whereas the second episode, I don't know. The second episode was a lot of development, especially around this girl they've lost in the past, Asami, and just how she inspired each one of them. I think that was really a core focus of that episode. It seems like so much is kind of being pushed on the idea of how important Asami was to all these people, and the loss of her, how important or how tragic it was to each one of them. Again, obviously Shuta, who is this character who, wanted to be a hero, and he would go out there and do things to help people out. And so again, Asami would always kind of encourage that. Yeah, that's great. You should help these people, and let's go help these people. And then you have Ron over here who is into graffiti and art. And then you have Asami come in again and say, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. You should live stream this stuff. That would be great. I think that would help so many people. And so sure enough, Ron loves live streaming his graffiti. And then Kyoki, and again, his kind of ability to really kind of communicate to people and his knowledge and how she was encouraging him for that and how he wanted to help and develop certain areas of the town. And so again, she was encouraging it. Yeah, that would help the community. You should really do that. That was always Asami's thing, is she was always there to kind of give people that inspiration or that encouragement that they need to pursue something. And it obviously shows in their current day, even a year after her passing, they're still kind of keeping with that encouragement that she once gave them. And obviously, as they all kind of come together to kind of realize, was this really her calling us? She's dead. There's no way that could have been her. Kyoki, even more so than any of the other ones, is very angered by even the thought of that because it was his sister. Shota obviously had something, of a fling of Asami, so that obviously he struggles with it as well. They all, again, have a strong connection to her and don't really want to let her go. All the signs of a really solid setup. I'm kind of, not here or there when it comes to superhero series. It's not as if I want it or I don't want it. At the same time, it's what it does with it that I think will be interesting. And I do think this idea of this predictive hazard technology would be an interesting way to kind of twist that whole thing. Plus, again, you technically have a nice mishmash of different types of characters, all with their own sense of what they need to do in order to, I guess, help the future. Again, Ron's more about, well, I can't really change things politically, so I'm going to make messages on the internet through live streams, doing these graffitis, to really push for change. Koki's probably more for, I want to go a political route, go in there and actually change things from the inside out. And Shota doesn't really know what he wants to do, but again, he still has those aspirations of being that hero that he always wanted to be. So it's got a solid cast. I think the only thing that's a little bit shaky for me so far is really around, I guess, the politics and the bad guys of the series so far. It's spending a lot of time, especially in the second episode, of just really kind of playing out as these evil corporations that are doing bad things, that are, bringing down the little man, all that kind of stuff. And I really don't, I hope that it doesn't really rely on that too much, but it does seem like the setup. With the first episode, it was a lot about, wasting a lot of money into this whole rail system and wanting it to be sabotaged, evil corporations wanting to just throw it away. And in the second episode, it's really getting into, here's this evil, I don't know, it was like a Yakuza group that's leading this mall that wants to snuff out all the competition, because obviously the mall would want to destroy that little market area over here because that can't be there for us to be successful. It really is just kind of playing off as all the bad guys are just evil, I don't know, gangs and big corps. And that's fine, but at the same time, it's not very interesting. I'm going to assume that eventually they'll get into something more, I don't know, well thought out, some really interesting, I guess, bad guys for the series. But so far, a lot of the bad guys are just kind of basic bad big corp. It will be interesting to see if they do a little bit more with the whole hazard cast thing. Again, this isn't something new in storytelling. We've got plenty of, especially big Hollywood-based, Minority Report, anybody? So but it's fine. Like I said before, it's fine if something does something similar. It's just what will you do with it? I hope it's not as simple as, they just uploaded Asami's brain to the system because she always wanted to help people, and so now she can internally help people by using the system. I hope it'll be a little more than that, but additionally, the other kind of negative I will give this series is sometimes it gets really boring. I'll just admit that, especially the second episode. The second episode had a really great kind of ending to it. It was a lot of build up to Mari really kind of realizing how much Asami did for people, and how she could never compete with her. Like, Asami was always there. She was always encouraging people, and Mari was kind of in the back outside looking in. It kind of at first made it feel as if Mari was always jealous of her, but at some point it kind of, you realize, look, I can't do this without you, Asami. I can't help these boys, be the team they wanted to be. This band of heroes that you created, I can't do it myself. And it was a really cute thing to realize at some point that she really did miss Asami. So there was a nice, impactful ending to it. Just everything building up to that, again, is the bad mall that's taking all the money. It's all these corporations are working in the background. All that stuff was just kind of really boring conversations. It was a really long episode of boring conversations. So I really hope that this story doesn't either get too caught up into those kind of boring conversations, or at least make them more interesting of stories. And that's really where I get with when I'm talking about how the whole evil corp stuff and all that kind of stuff is a negative, because it's boring to listen to people talk about it. It's really what it is. But we'll see. It looks great. Visually looks fantastic. A lot of great action pieces, some great music in there as well. The opening theme is fantastic. There's a lot of good stuff here. I hope that it kind of gets some interesting stories in there, some interesting things for them to take on as these heroes. So that's my thoughts on Tokyo 24th Ward. I hope you guys enjoyed my first impressions. If you did, leave a like down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the episode, or if you're going to be checking it out, two episodes. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be covering all the shows of the winter 2022 anime season. I hope you guys will join me for it. And with that said, I thank everybody for watching. I thank everybody who supports us through Patreon or through our tips link in the description below, and y'all take care.